I think the best way for us to see the Nationals is to pick out a car and become honorary members of its pit crew. How about this beauty? Let's latch on and see what it's like to race in the biggest drag event of the year. We're headed for the registration booth, pit passes and inspection forms. Because it is the biggest event of the year, it has the longest line of the year. So, we wait. But finally, it's our turn. Now we'll find out where our crew is from. We learned that our cars entered as the Masters Dragliner. It was built in Oceanside, California by Jim Nelson and Dode Martin. There are 5 members on our crew, not counting us, of course. Our car number is 10, and it is powered by a 283 cubic inch Chevy V8. Now we're on our way again. But not for long, another line. This time for technical inspection. This is one delay that no one in his right mind would complain about. For the competitor, it could very well save his life. For the hot rod enthusiast, it is something he can point to with pride. And for the general public, whose knowledge of hot rods is usually limited to distorted newspaper stories and movies like I Was a Teenage Leadfoot, it is a pleasant and a surprising education. Every competing machine, including stock cars, is put through a complete safety check. Every mechanical function is inspected by a trained crew. Plus the required safety features such as roll bars and seat belts. When an inspector okays a car, it's safe. While we've been looking around, the rest of our crew, the working class, have unloaded the dragliner, and we are now ready for the inspectors to take charge. To help speed up this important function of organized drag racing, there are 4 inspection teams on duty. Jim gives the inspector our check sheet. Now he asked us to remove our hood, and the golden red beauty is ready. Ready for a complete examination by these drag strip medics. From front end to rear end, every nut and bolt is checked. Every mechanical function is inspected. Despite the fact that this procedure is important, it is also time-consuming, and here's where we find a slight difference of opinion. Through the eyes of a competitor who's towed halfway across the country so he could put his foot in the carburetor, the inspectors seem to be a little too casual about their job. On the other hand, the inspector, who's been out in the hot sun for hours without a kind word from anyone, feels he's already checked 1 million cars this morning. When it's over, everyone seems friendly, though, and we're directed to the classification and weigh-in section. Now I see why that inspector was smiling. Another line. This is sort of like re-enlisting. This one doesn't seem too long. Let's leave our crew to sweat out the line while we see who else is here. This is the 3rd annual NHRA National Championship Drags, and by far the biggest in every way. Entries from almost every state in the Union are here. 450 car owners and crews. And they come in all sizes. Some large and some small. These clubs are the backbone of the hot rod sport. As members of the National Hot Rod Association, they all share and pursue the same motto, dedicated to safety. Yes, girls too. Birmingham, where's Birmingham? Okay, don't get mad. All of these clubs are here for one reason: competition. To participate in this exciting sport, it is imperative that you have some sort of machine. It may be short, or it may be long. It may be red with a small engine, like this Chevy 6, with 281 cubic inches. Or it may be a green monster with a Rolls-Royce aircraft engine of only 1,650 cubic inch displacement. Or if you really get carried away, it might have two engines. It may look like something from Cape Canaveral, with technical-looking supercharger tubes and drive shafts. Or it may be very plain and beautiful, built with the utmost care and affection. But whatever it looks like, it has to move down a quarter mile of asphalt in the lowest possible time at the highest possible speed. It also helps if you bring your sense of humor. But now we'd better get back to our crew. They have finally made it to the scale. Here, the weight of the car will be divided by the cubic inch displacement of the engine, and that will determine the competition class. This method of classification was worked out by the NHRA to assure the fairest possible grouping of cars, and it has met with success all over the country. Our class is C dragster. Now we're ready to go racing, and the strip is right over there. But it seems the other 449 guys have the same idea. The first 2 days of the meet are limited to single practice runs, and the boys that have been burning fuel can use the time. This is the first national meet limited to gasoline. Chloe? This is Slowpoke. Doesn't look too slow right now. Next, two extremes in acceleration. The first, Jack Moss's twin-engine dragster. Now the green monster.
Green monster. Our fund is the wheel.
At last, the dragliner reaches the head of the line, and Jim will take the first ride. Now we'll see if our crew's drag racing experience will pay off, for this is an all-new combination, a new engine in a new car. It did pay off, 120 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour faster than the old record. A terrific time saver this year is the use of 2 complete timing systems, 1 for each lane. It's just like operating 2 separate drag strips. There's a lot of competition here. The National Hot Rod Association has 30 complete classes, and they are all loaded with entries, every one a potential threat if we should make it as far as the final elimination. Each one is a little different, but they're all built with a single purpose: quarter-mile acceleration, drag racing. Here's last year's national champion, Mel Heath. You can't help wondering, will he be making it again this year? So it went for 2 days. Runs, runs, runs. Over 2,000 of them. And the starter jumped and jumped and jumped until it's Sunday morning, the big day of the Nationals. This is Elimination Day. For those of you who consider the hot rod sport something in which only the hot rodder himself is interested, this view of the parking lot should be enlightening. Drag racing has become a major spectator sport. Many of the competitors' work has been going on all night. For some, complete engines had to be rebuilt, transmissions replaced, or rear end gears changed. Anything that fell prey to the tremendous stress and strain of 2 days testing on the strip. With engine RPMs crowding 7,000, it's hardly a surprise to a hot rodder when some of the engine components, like the rods or crankshaft, come poking out through the side of the block. In fact, there's probably more than one car owner here that feels maybe, just maybe, this whole thing was a mistake. One of the things you can't help but notice at a drag race is an abundance of that mysterious something that has made us a great nation, that ability to build and invent called American ingenuity. When the Wright brothers finally got their wing contraption off the ground, it was loaded with ingenuity, and so are these hot rods. It may be an extra light wire wheel, or it may be placing the rear wheels closer together, or an engine that breathes through 6 carburetors and exhales through headers of a certain length. Whatever it is, its purpose is to get there first. The eliminations begin. Every eye is on the green flag. Trouble can strike at any time. Some never leave the line. These are final elimination runs in each class. Leland Cole pulls away at over 120 miles an hour. Butch Stevenson just beats out the Buck and Bowles beauty. Another close one goes to Mallard Automotive over Leo Herrera. And the Carsons brothers' immaculate sedan wins easily at 107 miles an hour. Slowpoke loses this one. The Chrysler against the dive. Both in 32 coupes. This is really close, but it's Rasmussen in the far lane. Mackey and Dorby's coupe is just too much, and wins easily with an ET of 11.51. Two dragsters. Then it's our turn. We've made it to the trophy run in our class. And Jim does it at 123 miles an hour. For those that didn't get there first, there is a rather brief ceremony at the finish line stand. Sort of like being drummed out of the service. For those that did, there is fame and fortune in the form of a beautiful trophy. This is Curtis Frank of San Antonio, Texas. Rogers and Carl Grimes of Phoenix, Arizona won the A-Altered class, and Leland Kolb came all the way from L.A. to take the A-Class Roadster. B Roadster went to Stevenson from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the Mallard Special from Long Beach, California stuck its long nose out in front for the B Competition Coupe Award. Here are three from Big D. Bob and Jim Carlson and their beautiful Olds-powered 32 sedan conquered B Altered class from Dallas, Texas. Presenting the trophies is Wally Parks, president of the sponsoring body. This is the A Modified of Godman from Memphis, Tennessee. Four-barrel trophy goes to Hartman of Oklahoma City. This is the Rolling Stone, an outstanding deuce. The Dallas Dazzler cleaned up in B Street Roadster. McKay and Dorby's Club Special took A Competition Coupe honors. The Bantam Body Bomb was built in Texas by Texans partner. Now the proud owners of our car, Jim Nelson and Dode Martin, received the C Dragster Trophy. Here's the car with the lowest elapsed time of the meet. Buddy Sampson drove it through the quarter mile in 10.8 seconds to win the A-Class Dragster Trophy and make it the favorite in the final eliminations for the National Drag Champion. And we're up first against Leroy Mackey. Dode misses by half a length. Then Grimes takes Cole. Next, the Money Oldsmobile and the Reno Plating Cadillac. Sampson in 10.66 seconds. Mackey and Grimes to see who will go against Sampson for the title. The 400-inch Chrysler is too much for the Buick. This is it. 450 started, 2 remain. One is just a quarter of a mile away from the national championship. But which one? Mackey let out of the chute, but now Sampson begins to pull away with a terrific time of 10.42 seconds. Some of the crowd spills out on the strip to welcome the new Mr. Eliminator of 1957, and here he is now. It's hard to beat a combination of car and driver that keep going faster and faster with every run. Wow, he seems to be enjoying it. President Parks adds his congratulations in a more subtle manner. This is the National Championship Trophy. Beautiful, isn't it? Now he's going to embrace the trophy. Well, not quite, but you couldn't blame him if he did. It's been a very happy occasion. And to top it all off, now he's won a Norge automatic washing machine. It's Labor Day, the day for official record runs at the Nationals, and another capacity crowd is on hand. Over a quarter of a mile of jam-packed humanity. In conjunction with the record runs, the sports cars and stock cars will hold their eliminations today. With so many competition cars entered, it would have been impossible to run the stocks yesterday. see who won that? There goes Mackey. He's trying for a new A competition coupe record. He makes it 119.68. Jack Moss fails in his attempt. Arfon takes the Green Monster off the line for the fastest time of the meet, 152.54, a new A-class dragster record. Jim tries for the record in the dragliner. He makes it 124.30. Cole gets his roadster hauling for a new A-class roadster record of 123. And now Mr. Hero Driver himself. But he knows there's not much hope. The monster's time is just too fast. And he's right, but after all, you can't have everything. Finally, the roar is faded, and the 1957 National Championships are just about over. The record trophies and some special awards will be given, and that will end it. But before the roar died, the first all-gas championships saw that American ingenuity I mentioned earlier produce 15 new national records and the finest-looking drag machinery ever built. Best Appearing Car Award went to the Goldenrod crew of Omaha, Nebraska. Best Appearing Crew Award was presented to B.B. Langley's crew. And the Best Engineered Car Trophy went to our crew. So just like in the movies, boy gets girl, and I'm afraid that's the end of the program.